April 14th, 1945. The outskirts of town, near the Elbe River. The ground here does not feel like earth. It feels like a frozen sponge of mud, oil, and blood. The air carries the metallic tang of burnt magnesium and the sickening, rotting stench of horses dead in the fields. Klaus Becher crouches inside the hollowed-out carcass of a burned sedan. He is 9 years old, originally from Hamburg, but the firestorms took his home 2 years ago. Now he is debris, drifting across a dying country. He wears a Wehrmacht greatcoat stripped from a corpse in a ditch. The wool is stiff with dried mud and hangs to his ankles, making him look like a shrunken scarecrow. His boots are stuffed with newspaper to fill the gaps where his toes have blistered. Klaus clutches a rusted screwdriver in his pocket. It is his only weapon. The radio broadcasts from Berlin scream that the Americans are coming. They scream that the Americans are gangsters who will cut the throats of boys and burn the women. He hears the crunch of boots on gravel. Heavy boots, not the rhythmic march of the SS, but the tired, shuffling gait of men who have walked from the beaches of France. Corporal Silas Vance stops 10 yards away. He is 23, a coal miner's son from Hazard, Kentucky. His face is smeared with grease and 3 days of stubble. His eyes are red-rimmed, stinging from the smoke of burning thatched roofs. Silas hates this country. He hates the gray sky. He hates the way the towns look like broken teeth. Most of all, he hates that he has to keep killing people to get back to the mountains of Kentucky. The tile slides off a roof nearby. Silas spins. The M1 Garand rifle snaps up to his shoulder in a motion practiced 10,000 times. His finger takes up the slack on the trigger. He aims at the car wreck. "Raus!" Silas yells. The word is harsh, American-accented German. "Come out." Klaus stops breathing. The stories are true. The gangsta is here. He imagines the bullet tearing through the car door. He imagines the darkness. He stands up slowly, his hands trembling violently above his head. Silas blinks. Through the iron sights of his rifle, he doesn't see a soldier. He sees a pile of dirty rags with a terrified face. He sees a boy who looks like he hasn't eaten a hot meal since 1943. The enemy is shaking so hard the oversized coat ripples. Klaus squeezes his eyes shut. He waits for the loud crack. He waits for the pain. He mutters a silent prayer his mother taught him before she disappeared. Silas lowers the rifle. The barrel points at the mud. He engages the safety. The click is loud in the quiet street. He looks at the boy's hands. They are skeleton-thin blue wheat cold. He thinks of his nephew, eager and chubby, playing with a wooden train on a porch in Hazard. This boy is the ghost of that childhood. Silas feels a knot tighten in his stomach. It isn't anger anymore. It is a heavy, crossing pity. Silas shifts his weight. He reaches into the deep cargo pocket of his trousers. Klaus flinches. He gasps, pulling his shoulders in, expecting a grenade. Silas freezes. He sees the terror. "Easy," he says softly. "Easy, son." He pulls his hand out slowly. He is not holding steel. He is holding a ration bar. It is a dense block of chocolate, oat flour, and sugar, wrapped in waxed paper. It is designed to withstand heat and time. Silas steps forward. The mud sucks at his boots. He holds the bar out. The silver foil catches the weak afternoon light. "Essen," Silas says, struggling with the language. "Food. For you." Klaus opens one eye. He sees the wrapper. He smells it. Even through the stench of war, the aroma cuts through. It smells of vanilla. It smells of a world where things are made, not destroyed. He does not move. The propaganda screams in his head. Poison. It is a trick, but his stomach screams louder. The hunger is a primal force. It overrides the fear of death. Klaus steps out of the wreckage. He reaches out. His fingers are black with grime. They brush against Silas's hand. The soldier's skin is rough, calloused from coal and rifle stocks, but it is warm. Klaus grabs the bar. He rips the paper with his teeth. Bites down. The chocolate is hard, waxy, and barely sweet by peacetime standards. But to Klaus, it tastes like salvation. The flavor hits his tongue cocoa, fat, energy. It floods his senses. The sugar rushes into his blood. He takes another bite, ravenous, choking slightly. Then the tears come. They are not the quiet tears of the hopeless. They are violent, heaving sobs. He cries because the tension of survival has finally snapped. He cries because the man with the gun did not kill him. The man with the gun gave him his own rations. The logic of his world has been broken by a piece of chocolate. Silas watches him. He feels his own throat tighten. He reaches out and rests a heavy hand on the boy's head. He messes up the dirty hair. "You're okay," Silas whispers, knowing the boy doesn't understand the words. "You're gonna make it." For 10 seconds, in a ruined street in Tangamand, there is no Wehrmacht, no U.S. Army. There are no borders. There is only a man from Kentucky feeding a starving child from Hamburg. 53 years later, 1998, a veterans hall in Louisville, Kentucky. The air smells of coffee and floor wax. An old man stands at the podium. His name is Klaus Becher. He is a grandfather, a retired architect from Berlin. He wears a suit that fits perfectly. In the front row sits Silas Vance. He is in a wheelchair now, his lungs scarred from the coal mines, his hands trembling with Parkinson's. But his eyes are clear. Klaus steps down from the podium. He walks to the wheelchair. He does not say a word. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out a modern chocolate bar. He places it in Silas's shaking hand. The room is silent. Silas looks up. He smiles, the skin around his eyes crinkling. He remembers the mud. He remembers the fear. He remembers the boy in the coat. Klaus kneels down. He wraps his arms around the frail old American. He weeps again, just as he did in the mud of 1945. Not from fear this time, but from a gratitude that has spanned a lifetime. We measure war in miles gained and cities captured. We count the dead and we draw lines on maps. But the history of humanity is not written in ink. It is written in the small, quiet, rebellious against cruelty. It is written in the moment a soldier lowers his rifle and offers bread to the enemy, proving that even when the world burns, the human soul refuses to turn to ash.